Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple, and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. It's the Monday night scripture breakdown class in Killen, Texas. What we do with your Christian pastors have always been ill-equipped to do. Which is teach the truth according to the Bible. Because for so long, we've been under the illusion that your Christian pastors or, even because we think, we've come to believe that every so-called religion is the same. So we as Black people, because the Christian church has failed us. Our Christian pastors have failed us. It's just a song and dance. It's no different than it's no different than the Pride Parade. Where all you do is get a lot of music and dancing and falling out and acting a fool in LGBTQ activity. So because of that, because of all the nonsense that goes on in the Christian church, we've turned to hey, Ithazah, you mind just pushing the door, make sure it's locked. But we've fallen, because our Christian pastors have failed, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you ain't gotta just push the door, make sure it's locked. Okay, most high Christ. But because of the shortcomings of our Christian pastors, because of the nonsense that happens in that Christian church, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are leaving the Christian church. Leaving those Catholic churches in droves. But what the problem is, we're taking Christianity with us. We're taking Christianity with us, and we're taking Christianity into being a Muslim. Which is just a offshoot of Christianity. It's just as evil as Christianity. Just as not for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans as Christianity. We go be Buddhist. We go and be spiritual. Collecting all these rocks and crystals and putting them around our neck and all those things like that. Or we just be individuals. Where we don't give a damn about. We believe in a higher power, but we believe that the most high God, the higher power that we believe in, we think that they agree, the most high believe or agrees with everything that we say. So because of that, because of the shortcomings of the Christian church, we got a skewed view of what's in this Bible, and we got a skewed view of spirituality. But in the ISUPK, we've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible since 1969. We're gonna teach you, the truth about the matter. We're gonna show you what's actually going on, the difference between Christianity and what's in the Bible, the difference between religion and our culture, what you'll find in this Bible. Because your Christian pastor won't teach you that this is your culture. Your Christian pastors won't do that. They can't do that. I mean, they can't teach you that this is your culture. They can't teach you your culture. They teach you religion, which is the tool that's been used for, for generations to destroy blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So much so that, we don't even question what our culture is. We don't even look for our culture. Every other nation, regardless of what God they believe in, regardless of what their religion is, every nation on the face of this earth has a culture. Outside of, so-called African man, he could be a full out, what's it called, atheist. Don't believe in no God, but they have a culture. They put on their garments, the garments that they wear. They marry how they marry, They have these rituals that they do, They coming of age rituals, they're how they marry, how they raise their children. They have their culture, and they don't have to believe in God. Same with a Buddhist. Buddhists can be a full out atheist, and they got their culture. They got what they eat, what they don't eat, where they sleep, where they don't sleep, what they wear, what they don't wear. They have their culture and identity. And you could fill in the blank with any nation of people. So that just shows you that there is a stark difference between religion and culture. The Bible is not a religious book. The Bible is a cultural book. It's about culture. Let's see what's going on here. So lucky. All right. So with that being said, if we got any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat. Like, share, subscribe. No matter what platform you're watching on, like, share, subscribe. Share it with your loved ones, share it with your friends. So that we can all get what we need to get the hell out of this hell. Because what we don't realize is us going along to get along, us going along to get along, us going along with religion, us going along with you know what I mean, uh with the societal norms, us going along with, what our oppressor wants us to do, what America wants us to do, us going along and seeing our brothers and sisters being deported and destroyed and having their lives taken and being mass incarcerated, us going along with the hypocrisy of America, where Trump says, "Oh, you got to get rid of all the. We got to. He's deporting. Let Trump tell it. He say he's deporting the Hispanic brothers and sisters because they super predators. Let him tell it. But he started his before he went to run for presidency the first time. He was talking about grabbing women by their box. He's talking about he got to mass deport. He got to treat black people and Hispanics. Roughly. Don't bother being gentle with them because again, he calls us predators. He likes to look at us as animals, as a subhuman. Meanwhile, he is on that Epstein list. In them Epstein files, he is on the flight. What's it called? The flight record going to and from Epstein Island. So he was friends with him before all of this even broke out. So long story short, America is full of hypocrisy, and we just go along with it. So much so that we go in that Christian church, and most, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the common knowledge at this point in 2025 is that most people know that Christ was a dark skinned man. Now, some people would like to argue that he's Middle Eastern, or whatever the case is. Some would like to argue that, but what's absolutely undeniable is that he is not a white man. Yet we go up in that Christian church and we sing and dance and we clap our hands and we fall out, and there's a white man dressed up as Jesus, cosplaying as Jesus Christ. And we just go along with it, man. And that's what's destroying us, man. The topic tonight, is that all the shame that we feel as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all the shame that we feel when we look on TV and we see Tyler Perry dressing up as Medea. You know what I mean? Or we see all the black, Hispanic, and Native American actors that had to dress up as a woman. Put on a dress to get certain roles or try to show their worth to Hollywood. Every time you see a story, we're gonna get a couple stories tonight where you see You know what I mean? You'll see black Hispanics and Native Americans do horrendous things. You know what I mean? And you look at it blindly, or you see black Hispanics and Native Americans do horrendous things. All of those things come from our love and envy for our oppressor, man. That's what we're gonna get into tonight. Uh, we're going live on TikTok right now as well. So if you got any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in. I know y'all on TikTok don't hesitate to put comments. That's one thing. If y'all don't do nothing else, y'all gonna comment. But I mean, if you got any questions as well, go ahead and put them in the chat. Let me see something real quick. Hey, y'all about y'all shy brakata. I mean, y'all got any questions or anything? Go ahead and put them in the chat. Uh, you don't see any questions as of late or as of right now. So lock you. Let me see. So make sure. Lock you. Oh, hell. What the hell? So lock you. That's crazy. I'm gonna send you some articles. Let's lock you. Let me see if there's any questions or anything. I don't see any questions. All right. And this is the Monday night scripture breakdown class. You know what I mean? There ain't no scripture. You know what I mean? Your Christian pastors ain't breaking down no scriptures. They open the Bible, and they say what they gonna say. They do what they gonna do, and you know what I mean, you don't get to ask no questions. You don't get no clarification. You know what I mean, or none of that. They just say what they say, and then a song start. You know what I mean? They could barely even finish the scripture before the keyboarders just get this trying to serenade everybody in that Christian church. Let's see if this gonna act right. You know what I mean? Let me find this article for you real quick. Send it to you. Send it to you on Messenger. Before that, let's go to Matter of fact, bear with me 1 second. Find you real quick. All right, you should have just got that. And I'm gonna let me see if I'm gonna send it to the lock you. Let's send this to all right, if you could just go ahead and go ahead and well, we're gonna read that in a second. But since the beginning of time, like you go into this Bible since the beginning of time. I mean, since the beginning of time, our affinity for wanting to be like our oppressor, wanting to join ourselves to our oppressor, wanting to do the things that our oppressor does. I mean, since the beginning of time, that's been what's been catching us up. That's been what's destroying us. That's been what's gotten us so far, you know what I mean, away from our culture and identity that we damn near become unrecognizable. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Standing side by side next to our oppressor, who is the most heinous, you know what I mean? Who is the most heinous, who is the most responsible for most of the, what word can I use? Who is the most responsible for the most unaliving, the most theft, the most you know what I mean, the highest rate of of you know what I mean, whatever crime you can think of, you know what I mean, your oppressor is the head, you know what I mean? But we've become so much like our oppressor. I mean, we want to follow after our oppressor. We want to do the things that our oppressor wants us to do, or do the things that our oppressor does. Then we become, you know what I mean, we've become a close second, which is why your oppressor can get on TV and lie and say that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans commit the most crimes, which is why they're being incarcerated the most. You know what I mean? Because we're following after them. I mean, let's, as a matter of fact, let's get I believe it's Proverbs 3 and let me see. Proverbs 3 and 31. Yeah, go ahead, read that real quick. Read it whenever you got it.
Kanawakan, the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor,
Mm-hmm.
and choose none of his ways.
Envy thou not the oppressor. I mean, that's what we're trying to teach you right now. That's what we're trying to show you. That's what we desperately trying to show you in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. I mean, envy not your oppressor. Go ahead and choose none of his ways. See, we try to choose. We like to, you know, what I mean, cherry pick what we like and dislike about our oppressor. You know what I mean, where we'll march in the streets talking about Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, and then you in that same march with your oppressor who is part of a nation that don't care about black lives, that benefit off the destruction of black lives. You know what I mean? Or we'll like we just, you know what I mean, like we just did, and we do every year. And what, when did Juneteenth become a national holiday? What was it, like the 20 during Biden's administration, right? So that had to be around 2020 what, 2? Uh I can't remember, but it recently Juneteenth just recently became a national holiday, officially recognized, right? Which is crazy in itself if you think about the reason why Juneteenth is even a holiday. You know what I mean? The brothers and sisters that were slaves in Galveston, Texas, receiving the news that we were free. What was it? What was the year? 2021. Okay, cut the water. But and you gotta. It's a. I forget what that mic is. But you know what I mean, we Juneteenth officially became a nationally recognized holiday. You know what I mean, in 2021, which is fitting because the Juneteenth holiday stems from us getting late news. So the late recognition, you know what I mean, isn't a surprise. But what do we do? You know what I mean? We were so excited about Juneteenth becoming a national holiday, June 2021, and then what do we do? July, not even what was it, about 2 3 weeks later, 4th of July, we out there red, white, and blueing it up. I think during Juneteenth, my the first time I went to a Juneteenth like or Juneteenth function, everybody was wearing red, white, and blue. So you know what I mean. We try to, you know what I mean, we try to join ourselves. Like that's how deep in the mix we are. When we join ourselves to our oppressor, and we celebrate how our oppressor. First of all, we celebrate in the fact that our oppressor gave us late news. You know what I mean, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, and you was supposed to be free, but then 3 years later you received the news. So for 3 additional years, brothers and sisters was in physical chains and in physical slavery, where your oppressor could treat you like less than a man. They could treat you like an animal. You know what I mean? And you had no rights for 3 additional years. After that's illegal. You know what I mean? Right or wrong? I mean, the law was passed that you wasn't in or you wasn't in physical slavery anymore. And then 3 years after that, continuing, you still get treated like a slave. But we do that and we celebrate. You know what I mean? We celebrate, and then we celebrate right alongside the same nation that had us in that condition. You know what I mean? The same reason why what was that? I believe last week, the police officer that was involved in the shooting of Breonna Taylor, Uh, he was sentenced to 33 months in prison. I mean, which Donald Trump administration, the DOJ, they wanted to just give him 1 day, just have him spend 1 day in prison. But despite all of those details, despite them trying to, them pushing so hard to not give you any justice, you know what I mean, like they did for what's his name, that brother in Cincinnati, uh, Sam DuBose, where they did three retrials, and all of them got denied. All of them never that judgment to let that UC police officer, because he wasn't even a state police officer, he wasn't even a city, he was a campus police officer. You know what I mean? That took that brother's life. And brothers and sisters was marching in the street talking about Black Lives Matter, and pushing for retrial after retrial. And after 3 retrials, the verdict didn't get overturned. You know what I mean? But in the case of, Breonna Taylor, you know what I mean, they pushed to give her, no justice. And then this police officer, Brett Hankerson, he got sentenced to, instead of serving a 1 day that the Department of Justice wanted to give him, they gave him 33 months. And the thing about it is, he wasn't even involved, or he was the only police officer that didn't land a bullet on her. Like, so the him being arrested has nothing to do with Breonna Taylor. But what do we do? You know what I mean? We got the news that this police officer was being sentenced to what I think 33 months is just a little under 3 years. I mean, we got so happy for the little crumb that our oppressor gave us. We talking about we wish the brother, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. See if I can find that video. But it's like you. But you know what I mean, they was like, we wish he would have got more. He should have gotten more time for taking the life of Breonna Taylor. But what the brothers, he said, but we're grateful. The reason why we so grateful for injustice, when they can treat us unfairly, they can destroy us right in our face, they can rob us right to our face, but we turn around and be grateful for that crumb. You know what I mean? They steal from you and give you a crumb back. You know what I mean? That's the video. Okay, no sweat. Her legal team, I think it might have been her relatives as well. They like kind of spoke on the matter. I don't know if they speaking on it here, but your oppressor can spit in your face, lie to you, rob you. You know what I mean? Destroy you, take your life in your face, and when they give you a crumb, which ain't even a crumb, you know what I mean? We're grateful. And the reason why that is because read that again, Aita Zakabor.
Khan. The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 30. Salaki, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
See, we're not supposed to envy our oppressor, but we want to be joined to America. We want to be joined to America so bad that we'll take the spit in the face. I mean, we'll take the slap in the face. We'll take the injustice. We'll take the blatant disrespect. We'll take the us being ostracized. We'll take all of those things because we envy our oppressor. We want to join ourselves to our oppressor in all of his ways, man. That's why the Most High is warning us not to do that right now. And he's been warning us since the beginning of time. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 32. For their forward is abomination.
Mm-hmm. Or the froward. You know what froward mean, Aita Zakabor?
La'ah.
Okay. You already know what to do then.
Khan.
And let me know what you come up with.
difficult to deal with.
Say that again.
Of a person difficult to deal with.
Mm. Yeah. See, because we envy our oppressor because we want to be just like our oppressor so bad. It's like, what happened to the did Brock take the phone and everything? Okay, no sweat. All right, no sweat. But read that definition again, Slacky.
Of a person difficult to deal with.
Difficult to deal with. See, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have become so difficult to deal with. I mean, when the Most High been pleading with us, I mean, since the beginning, we're gonna go back in history. This Bible, we're gonna go back into the history book. We're gonna see how difficult we've been to the Most High to deal with. You know what I mean, a lot of brothers and sisters, they'll say a lot of brothers and sisters hate the Most High, and blame the Most High for the condition that we in right now. Where we like, well, if the Most High is all knowing, and like, why would He let us? You know what I mean, why would He let us be in this position? Why would He let us be in this captivity? Why would He let us this, that, and the third? If He all knowing, why wouldn't He stop us from sinning? You know what I mean, that's what we say, right? I mean, when the Most High gave us the blueprint from the beginning, and what do? We denied it. Go ahead, read on. So because we're so forward, because we're so difficult to deal with, we become an abomination to the Most High. Go ahead.
For the froward is abomination to the Lord.
The forward is abomination. Go ahead.
But his secret is with the righteous.
His what?
His secret is with the righteous.
So you trying to figure out the mysteries. You know what I mean? You trying to figure out the mysteries of you know what I mean, of the Bible, the mysteries of not even the Bible, just the mysteries of life. Why would the Most High leave us in this condition? Why would He put us in this condition if He loves us? I can't serve that's what black people excuse to be you know what I mean, spiritual, right? How can I can't serve a God that will put us in this position, that will put us in slavery. Ain't that what Polite said before they put him under the jail? You know what I mean, while he was trying to lead people to follow his spiritual father, Malachi York, who was also another PDF. You know what I mean? Ain't that what he said? Like, how you serve a God that put you in slavery? You know what I mean? Look at him, he in jail. You know what I mean? But that's our excuse to not serve the Most High God. But we want all these secrets to all these mysteries. His secret is read that part again.
Khan. But his secret is with the righteous.
His secret is with the righteous. So you want to understand all these mysteries. You want to understand your condition in this world. You want to understand how to get out of this condition in this world. You want to understand how to get from under your oppressor, and not catch so much hell in this earth. You have to be righteous. You have to follow the Most High's instructions, man, that He gave us from the beginning. Let's get Deuteronomy 30. What was it? 30 and 19. Salakia. But this is the problem. Just to answer that rhetorical question, because really, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, when we ask that question, how can I serve a God that put us in slavery? It's really not a question. It's really I'm not serving a God that put us in slavery. I mean, but to answer that rhetorical question, go ahead, read what you got, Aitazah.
Khan, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings.
So this is the problem right here. The Most High has set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. So He put freedom and captivity in front of you. He put poverty and He put wealth in front of you. He put rulership and He put servitude in front of you. He put life and death, disease or wellness and health. He put those things before you. Go ahead, Aita Zakabor.
Therefore choose life.
Therefore what?
Therefore choose life.
And then He told you what to choose. You know what I mean? A baby, you know what I mean? He told you what to choose. He said, you can do this or you can do that. You can get this outcome or you can get this outcome. choose this. This is gonna help you out a lot. This is gonna get you right where you need to be. You want generational wealth. You want to never serve another nation again. You want to never have to experience a drug, what it's like to be a drug addict, or what it's like to, you know what I mean, what it's like to you want to never know what it's like to be an alcoholic or a drug addict or for somebody to rob you. You know what I mean? You want to never know what that's like to be oppressed. Choose this. You'll never have to deal with those things. But let's go ahead and get your. Go ahead, read on.
Kind of one kind. That I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou seed may live.
Both thou and thy seed may live. See, this is the part. This is what the reason why we feel like we experience so many generational curses. You know what I mean? We trying to break generational curses is because not only are you experiencing hell and destruction and poverty and drug addiction and you know what I mean, just fear and just death happen all around you. Not only are you feeling that, but your children are feeling that. They get born into, you know, I mean, a condition where they in poverty. You know what I mean? And then your children's children get born in a condition of where they in poverty or they being destroyed or, you know what I mean? You got to watch out, you know what I mean, for predator, you know what I mean? Or you got to watch out for somebody. You got to fear for the police pulling up behind you. Even though you got all your paperwork together, you got to fear for your life when the police even driving behind you. You know what I mean? It's because we're not following these laws, statutes, and commandments. It's because we're not following our culture. It's because we chose death. Where the Most High put life and death in front of us and said, choose life. We said, what that death talking about, though? I hear you, but I just want to see what that's talking about, and that's what we did. Go ahead. Is there any more on that?
Verse 20.
Let's see what verse 20 talking about.
Kind of one kind. Verse 20. That thou mayest love the Lord thy God. And that thou mayest obey his voice.
This is what choosing life look like. You choose life by obeying the Most High and choosing the Most High. But the moment you choose something else, you know what I mean, it's gonna get a little rough for you. Go ahead.
And that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life and thy length of thy days.
The Most High. Now that blunt is it cure everything. Go ahead. What that say? For the
and that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life.
Right, cleave on to the Most High because he is your life. Not that CMOS. Remember, because that's CMOS that Dr. Sabi was trying to get y'all on. What's your life?
For he, Salakia, that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life.
For who? For
he is thy life.
I need you to emphasize that he.
Kana one kan. For he is thy life.
Right. Now that blunt is that life.
For he is thy life.
Now that henny is that life.
For he is thy life.
Now for OnlyFans is that life.
For he is thy life.
Now them crystals, that citrine wrapped in copper and all of that.
For he is thy life.
See, what we do is we try to go into all these different doctrines and different religions, and we go into these different ways. You know what I mean? Like it's saying Jeremiah 6:16, where it says, as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and is there any more on that?
Kind of one.
Go ahead and finish that, and then we're gonna go to Jeremiah real quick.
And the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which the Lord spare unto thy fathers.
See, and we had a land. We had a land that was promised. We had a land that was promised to us. So you didn't have to. You are a slave. You are a perpetual slave. We, Salakia, we are a perpetual slave in America, and that's why we hate our Hispanic brothers, because we look at them. You know what I mean? Going through the, we don't even see them going through the Darien Gap. We don't even see the heinous things that they gotta, you know what I mean, that they gotta endure to even get here, only to find out that it's worse here than where they came from. But they suffering in Mexico. They suffering in south of the border. They suffering overseas and all of that. They try their hardest to get over here to try to get the so-called American dream that your oppressor advertised. You know what I mean? Lo and behold, we don't even know. So we look at our Hispanic brothers and sisters. We like, man, them ain't our brothers. They ain't our sisters, man. They got their own land. They got their own culture. Not even realizing that the language that they speak, that you're so envious of, comes from our oppressor. Not even realizing that the land that you so envious of, that you so envious of, is overtaken by their oppressor. Not even realizing that the very reason why they coming over here in the first place is because they're in the same condition that you in America, but just in a different place. You know what I mean? The so-called the Jamaicans from you know what I mean, the Caribbean islands. I mean, we look at them the same way. Well, it's like, oh, them can't be our brothers. What are they called? What is that organization called? The damn Foundational Black American, the FBA. You know what I mean? Where they try to exclude anybody that's not a so-called African American. You know what I mean? The reason why we look at them like that is because we don't realize that the same condition that you in America, they're in that exact same condition wherever you're so envious of that they come from, that they're at. You know what I mean, we've been disconnected, but we wouldn't have to worry about none of that if we just stuck to what the Most High gave us, because He said, if you follow my instructions, I'm set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Choose life, that you may live, and you and thy seed may live, and that you can dwell in this land that I promised you, that you can get all the things that I promised your forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But this is what happened to us. Go ahead to that Jeremiah 6:16. Baba Kashah.
Kanawakan.
And this is where we catch hell. This right here.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 16.
So this is, again, the Most High is pleading. I mean, the Most High is pleading with us since the beginning of time. He been giving us the blueprint. He just gave it to us. You know what I mean? Since the garden. We're going to get there in a second. He just gave us the blueprint, and then we messed it up. So then he just, you know what I mean? He chose Abraham, he chose Isaac, he chose Jacob, and he chose the 12 tribes of Israel after that. Then he just gave us, you know what I mean? He gave us the blueprint. He gave us these law, statutes, and commandments. And then he said, choose life. He just gave us the blueprint. And we smoked it trying to be like these other nations, man. Go ahead.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 16. Thus said the Lord, stand ye in the ways.
Stand ye in the ways. See, this ain't no suggestion. This ain't ambiguous at all. What did I say?
Thus said the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths,
Word.
where it is the good ways, and walk therein.
So he's giving you the instructions, so you can see all these ways, right? See all these ways. You can go down the way of being a LGBTQ member. You can go down the way of being a Christian. You can go down, and within Christianity, there's several different ways you can go. You can be Baptist. You can be Catholic. You can be you know what I mean? You can be, what's it called? You can be spiritual. So many different ways that you can go down. You know what I mean? You can go to college and pledge Greek. You know what I mean? You could join a police force. You could join your oppressor's military. You know what I mean? There's so many ways you can go. But the Most High said, through his prophets, he said, stand ye and wait and see and ask for the old paths. Where's the good way? So we sitting there trial and error. Are we trying to, you know what I mean, see what it's like to go to college? Or we go into the workforce, right? We go to the workforce and work 40 years, break our back so that we can try to get some sort of retirement or some pension or something like that, so that we can mortgage a house and all these different things, so that we can have something to pass down to our children. But your oppressor, you know what I mean, he made sure that didn't work. Where he didn't change things up. Where you Now you can't get a job because you don't have enough education. So we go to college, and then we like, all right, I need to get this education. So we go to college for 2 years. You know what I mean, to get the bare minimum. And they're like, oh well, associate's degree ain't enough. Now you need a associate's 2 years, right? So you need a bachelor's. Well, that's 4 year, right? So they're like, oh well, that's not enough. Associates ain't enough. Now you need a bachelor's. So you go to school for 4 years, and then they tell you, oh well, 4 year degree ain't enough. Now you got to go for 6 years. Now you got to go for 8 years, and then you just spent all your youth in college going into debt. You know what I mean? Paying for student loans and or collecting student loans and you know what I mean? Following the instructions of your oppressor and all of that. I'm not saying don't go to college, but we tried those ways, and then guess what? We get all this education. You've been in school for 10 years, and then you go try to get a job. And they're like, oh, well, you got to start in the mailroom. You got to start at a entry level position because why? Because you ain't got experience. You know, so we trial and error. We trying all these ways. Maybe I can you know what I mean? Maybe I could do what's it called? A apprenticeship and work from the ground up, this, that, and the third. Or maybe I could get into stocks, or maybe I can get into forex, or maybe I could get into real estate. And we doing all of these things to try to make a way for us in this hell. But the Most High gave us a solution right here. Go ahead, read that again.
Where's the good way and walk therein?
So he gave us the way. He said, look at all these ways and ask for the old paths. You know what I mean? All of these things that I mentioned is new. Christianity is new. You know what I mean? Uh, Catholicism is new. Being a Muslim is new. Uh, Hindu, Buddhism, all of that's new. You know what I mean? Being an American is new. Chasing the American dream is new. All of these things are new. LGBTQ is new. But the Most High said, to the ask for the old paths. This is old. What's in this Bible is old. And that's what the Most High is trying to bring you back to, because that's what he gave you from the beginning. There's nothing older. Go ahead.
And ye shall find rest for your souls.
He even sweetened the deal. He said, man, all we want is rest, man, because we restless. You know what I mean? When your mama come home tired, your mama tired. She tired of these kids. She tired of these jobs. She tired of not having no money. She tired of, you know what I mean, not having a successful relationship. You know what I mean? Your father, you know what I mean, he tired. He working 40, 80-hour a week shifts. You know what I mean? And then gotta have a side hustle on the side. And then also gotta have a business, you know what I mean, trying to get a business. Cause you know what I mean, a woman don't want no broke man. But they also don't want a man that work a 9 to 5. I mean, so your father is tired. You know what I mean? He wrestling with your mama. He wrestling with child support. You know what I mean? Your father is tired. The kids is tired, man. We tired. Everybody tired. You see them ICE agents? I mean, them Hispanics being carried away by ICE agents. You know what I mean? They tired, man. They tired. We need rest for our souls, man. Our souls is tired. We have been defeated, man. The Most High is trying to give you the blueprint. He's giving it to you. It's right here. But what do? Go ahead.
But they said, we will not walk therein.
But we said what?
We will not walk therein.
See, this is us being forward. So we so difficult to work with. We so difficult to teach. We so difficult to just help. Come on, the Most High trying to help you with the prophet. In this case, the prophet Jeremiah. He sends his prophets to try to help you, to give you the truth. I mean, he's in the ISUPK to help you. Where you can't go in that Christian church and get a breakdown on no scriptures. You can't go in that Christian church and get no help. You know what I mean? Without sacrificing something major. Like you might be able to go in there, and I know some Christian churches that they might help you out, pay a little bill or something. You know what I mean? They might help you out, give you a little, you know what I mean? They might try to give you a little counsel, guidance, you know what I mean? But in exchange, they messing with your children. You know what I mean? They might try to give you a little notoriety where you get notoriety by associating yourself with this church. Like what's that damn church in Atlanta? Is that the one that ain't the one that Eddie Long was over, right? But by going to that church, by going to these what's the one in Houston with what's his name? the Edomite, Joel Osteen Church. You you get notoriety, you know what I mean, by joining yourselves to these churches. You're like, oh yeah, I go to Joel Osteen's mega church. I go to this church and this church. Like you get notoriety, you might get some fame, but you don't get rest for your soul. You know what I mean? You gotta sacrifice something. You get notoriety for going to these churches, and then lo and behold, you find out that 80 Long been fondling with children for however many years. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? How many times have we heard that in the Christian church? You know what I mean? You go get this notoriety, you get this status, you know what I mean, from going to this church, but then you gotta sacrifice, you gotta put in that pot 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and they looking at you sideways. You know what I mean? You gotta love your oppressor, and you gotta separate yourself from brothers and sisters just like you. You know what I mean? You gotta lose your compassion. Uh, but the reason why that's the only thing that we got is because we've been froward with the Most High, man. We've been froward. We've been difficult to deal with because the Most High has given us this blueprint, and He said, but we said we will not walk therein. You know what I mean, we telling you to, you know what I mean, we telling you to put down that pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster because it's an abomination to the Lord. We telling you that sex is marriage. You know what I mean? If you lay with that woman, you stay with her. We telling our sisters to get off that pole, get off that OnlyFans. We telling our brothers stop going to the damn strip club and stop subscribing to these OnlyFans, man. Get off OnlyFans so that they can get off of OnlyFans. But what we say we will not walk therein, man. We hard headed and froward, man. And everything that you see on the internet, everything that you see on TV that embarrasses blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, every time you see Tyler Perry put on that wig and that bodysuit and gyrate around and embarrass you, every time you see a black, Hispanic, or Native American actor or actress come out as LGBTQ, or every time you see Dwayne Wade or what's his name, Magic Johnson, you know what I mean? Uh, who was a warrior, you know what I mean, who was a strong, you know what I mean, who was strong, athlete, you know what I mean, and then they raise a effeminate 6'4", effeminate wig wearing, makeup wearing son, and it embarrasses you every time you see Will Smith, you know what I mean, Will Smith, I don't know if y'all checked on Will lately, but he losing his mind, you know what I mean, but every time you see Will Smith and Jada Pinkett together, you know what I mean, and she just as evil as can be to him, and you see them weird children that he got, you know what I mean, and it embarrasses you to your soul, man. It's because we forward to the Most High God, man. That's where it comes from. Every time it's because instead of coming back to our culture, we join ourselves to our oppressor culture. Everything that embarrasses you about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans comes from our love for our oppressor and their culture, instead of just choosing life. Uh, let's go to Genesis real quick. I think Genesis 2 and let's see. Salakia. Let's start at 3 just for time's sake. Genesis chapter 3. Or as a matter of fact, go to Genesis 2 and 15 real quick. This is what you got to realize. This is like the Bible is very simple. It's very simple. Go ahead and read what you got. I'm gonna explain.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 15. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it.
All right. So the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. So the Most High, He created the, you know what I mean, the heavens and the earth. He created the, you know what I mean, the firmament in between. He created the, you know what I mean, the land to divide the waters from the waters. Or the heaven from the earth, or that's the firmament, it's like it. But He created the land. He created the land animals, the sea animals, and the fowls of the air. You know what I mean? All different kinds. You know what I mean? All different types. And then He created man. You know what I mean? He created nations. He created people. You know what I mean? Just like he created fish, he didn't create just one fish. He created a plethora of fish. He created all different types of fish, all different types and kind, and uh, all different types of land animals, and all different after their kind, and fowls of the air. You know what I mean? And then he took the man. He took Adam. So lucky. He took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden. Right? But he took Adam and put him in the midst of the Garden of Eden. Now, if you go into the Hebrew, right, the word for garden is Hagun, right? Or the garden rather. Where them don't worry about it. Actually, if you could, you mind going to Bible Hub and going to Genesis 2 and 2 and 15 and clicking on the word garden. Or actually just read the part that says garden, just or the garden, on just in the text. Where is it? Oh, okay. It says in gun, like in the garden. But the word garden is gun, right? The garden is gun. So is a preposition that means the, gun means garden. Now you might go into two letter lookup real quick. Is two letter lookup up? It's been a while since I've seen brother. Now Hagun, the garden, right? Now, if you don't mind, just Hagun. Uh, look up Hagun in the Hebrew. So, ha and yeah, the third one, and then nah, that one right there, not that one. Right, yeah. Take off the last one. Just, put ha and ga real quick. Put protect. Like, it's been a while since I used two letter look up. Like you. Well, this ain't the Hebrew class, so we ain't gonna go too deep into it. But the word garden is gun. Magun, which is shield, and Hagun, which means to protect, are built after or built from the word garden. So us being in the garden, that was the Lord protecting us. Like in the scriptures, I believe concerning like a husband to a wife. You know what I mean? That you know what I mean, you should put a hedge around her. You know what I mean, in order to protect her. Right? That's the same thing that the Most High was trying to do with us. I mean, he put us in this garden that was, you know what I mean, already set up, you know what I mean, that was already set up for us to rule. All we had to do is just keep doing, you know what I mean, pass down the traditions, pass down the things that the Most High taught us to our children and our children's children, and our children's children. And we would have stayed in the garden or in the place where we had the protection. Right? Go ahead. You still got that scripture?
Come. Verse 16. And the Lord commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
Go ahead.
Verse 17. But the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it.
Right.
For in the day that thou eat thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Now, what this is talking about is nations. When you see like tree, especially here, when you see trees, it's talking about nations, like a family tree. I mean, families. Like, what is it? The book of Ezekiel. Uh, it talks about the Assyrian. You know what I mean? It describes him as a tree. I mean, this is talking about nations. So you could deal with these other nations. You can, I mean, you can learn from these other, like, you know what I mean? What they say, what's the stereotype? The Asians is good at math. You know what I mean? So you could learn math. You know what I mean? You can learn, what, you know what I mean? As long as it's lawful, you know what I mean? You got some, I know some brothers might eat Indian food. You know what I mean? You gotta be careful with that Indian food though. But you know what I mean, you get it, you know what I mean, you can learn how to you can learn the different spices that they use in their food as long as it's all lawful and all of that. You can learn those things. But the knowledge of good and evil, we was never supposed to learn what evil was like. You know what I mean? We was just supposed to have the good. We was never supposed to learn what it's like to be on drugs. You know what I mean? We was never supposed to know what it's like to have an oppressor in the first place. We talking about why would the most high I can't. Well, we say, oh, I can't serve a God that will put us in captivity. Whole time we wasn't even supposed to know what captivity was. We weren't even supposed to know what it felt like to have an oppressor come into your house and rip your children away from you. We was never supposed to know what it feel like to, you know what I mean, for Big Mama to have her leg cut off because all that pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster we eating. You know what I mean, we was never supposed to know what it's like to, you know what I mean, like in the case of Adam and Eve. You know what I mean? We was never supposed to know what it's like for your oldest son, for one of your sons to take the life of your other son. We was never supposed to know what that's like, man. Slack, you go ahead.
Verse 18. And the Lord God said,
Slack, read after thou shalt not eat of it.
thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
In the day thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. Now we just read in Deuteronomy 13 and 19, where he said, I've given you life and death, blessings and curses. Therefore choose life. This is what this is talking about. Where the Most High set us in the garden, He gave us the protection. He gave us the oral tradition that we were supposed to pass down generations and generations and stay in power. Right. You know what I mean? Like how like you look at the on the left hand side, but you look at the Rothschild, the Carnegie, Rockefeller, what's the you know what I mean? They got these monopolies over banks and the transportation industry. They got this you know what I mean, monopolies over, or you got the what's they call the Costa Nostra. They got you know what I mean, they run, it's the seven families that run everything. You know what I mean? You look at the so-called Jewish man, where you go into any industry, you know what I mean, they have their hand in it. Right. Whether it's jewelry, whether it's entertainment of all kinds, you know what I mean, music, whether you got your oppressor, your oppressor, particularly the ones that are portraying your culture, they, you know what I mean, are above. You know what I mean? They got their hand in everything. And what do? They pass that information and that knowledge on how to stay on top of you. They pass that down to their sons. They're like, this is how you deal with them. This is how you deal with them. This is how you write up this contract. This is how you swindle them out of everything that they got. But this is how you keep them serving you. They passed that down. That's what we were supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? But on the right hand side, we were supposed to never eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. But then also, you know what I mean, be an example, be the wisdom and understanding in the sight of these other nations. We're like, oh, they not eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, and they running the world, man. Maybe they'll take a page out of our notebook. They'll take a page out of our playbook and follow after. We're supposed to teach the world to be righteous. You know what I mean? But I'll read that last line. For in that day thou shalt.
For in that day thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
See, the Most High gave us life and death, blessings and curses, and instead of choosing life, we chose death. We chose death, man, and we wanted to learn what it was like. We wanted to learn what it was like to these drugs. You know what I mean? Even we, you know what I mean? We in denial. You know what I mean? As Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we like to be in denial and act like you're not addicted to that weed.
Right.
You know what I mean? To that tobacco that you wrap that weed in. You know what I mean? But you absolutely are addicted. That's why every time you don't have weed, you throw a hissy fit. That's why you got what they call it. They had a name for it. When you when somebody who smoke don't get high and they get like angry. It's a word for it. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but you know what I mean. That's why every time you can't get that blunt or you can't get that you know what I mean, you can't get that henny, you throw a hissy fit. You know what I mean? Because you are absolutely addicted. You was about to say something like that? Yeah. That would be the simple. You know what I mean? That's the cut and dry. But we wanted to know what it was like. I mean, the Most High said you're never supposed to know what it's like to be a dope fiend. But we wanted to try it. We were like, I mean, it can't be that bad. You know what I mean? It looked like we saw our oppressor at what's that joint called? And back in the 80s or the 70s. The damn the hippie I forget the damn. Yeah, Woodstock. We saw them at Woodstock getting high and getting naked and you know what I mean, sleeping with one another and doing all these weird things. You know what I mean, trying the ayahuasca and the teas and the psychedelics and all of that. And we was like, dang, that looked fun. You know what I mean? So we chose death. And the Most High said, the moment that you choose to find out, soon as you choose to mess around and find out, you're going to surely die. And that's what we did. That's why we in this hellish condition. Now go ahead to verse 3 real quick. This is in the beginning of time. This is the beginning where the Most High gave us the blueprint. And he's trying to tell us that if you follow after these other nations, then you're going to catch hell. You're going to catch hell. You're going to know what it's like to be a drug addict. You're going to know what it's like to have somebody so cruel over you that even as they got you in a hellish condition, even though they got you on the bottom of society, they still oppress you. You know what I mean? You look at our Hispanic brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? They doing it right, but they living together. They be in like a 3-bedroom apartment, 3-4 bedroom house, and they'll have 4-5 families jammed up in there, sharing the you know what I mean, sharing the bills, sharing the rent. You know what I mean? Watching the kids, so they ain't got to pay for childcare. You know what I mean? Taking care of each other. It's always something high. I don't know if you ever walked past a Hispanic household or ever been inside of the Hispanic household, but they always it's always something cooking. It's always music playing. It's always Coronas going around. Like it's always brotherhood and a good time. You know what I mean? But we our brothers, even when you know what I mean, you go into a black neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's always a grill going. It could be raining, it could be snowing. Somebody got a grill fired up. You know what I mean? It's you hear music. You know what I mean? Brothers be sitting outside. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And kicking it, talking. You know what I mean? Talking trash, all of that. You know what I mean? Having a good old time. You'd have carved out a little heaven in this hell. And even as you in hell at the bottom of society, your oppressor will still find time to target you and destroy you even further. Even though you have nothing, man. You'll never own a Fortune 500 company. You'll never have a Ferrari in your driveway. You know what I mean? Without having to, you know what I mean, rap or sell dope or go to the NBA. You'll never be able to achieve the things that your oppressor has been able to achieve in this. You'll never be the president. I mean, I know Obama got y'all food. Think you know what I mean? That Hamite, that so-called African Obama. You know what I mean? I know he got y'all food thinking that we had a black president. We did not. He is a African, which we are not. We are not Africans. You go to the Zondervan Bible Dictionary and look up Ham. It'll tell you that it is the one of the sons of Noah. You know what I mean? After the flood, one of the progenitors of the dark races, but not the Negroes. You know I mean, that's what it'll tell you right there. You know what I mean? But they done fooled you in thinking that you could, they done put a dark face in the presidency, and they done fooled you into thinking that you could be the president. You know what I mean? Whole time you thought Obama got in the office to do things for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but we were so caught up in the lure of just having a dark face in that presidential seat that we didn't even realize he didn't do nothing for black people. He did a lot for the LGBTQ community, though. You know what I mean? Well, he gassed you up on hope. He gassed you up on you know what I mean? He gassed you up on hope and change and all of that. And then when he left and people asked him or people interviewed him and asked, well, what do you got to say for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who feel like you might not have done enough or done all you could? And he was like, oh, they was just too gassed up on hope. I mean, that's what he did. Salakia. But go ahead. Go ahead to verse 3. But you know what I mean? You'll never be the president of the United States. You'll never be able to do what Trump did and be a felon, a 34 count felon, and become the president of the United States a second time. You know what I mean? You'll never be able to. You could barely even work at McDonald's. Well, they look into the whole world looked into Trump's track record where he's friends with Epstein and he's talking about grabbing women by their private area. You know what I mean? He's talking about I mean, all these heinous things. He's showing you who he is. You know what I mean? You'll never be able to. I mean, and then on top of that, he threw 34 count felonies right on top of that, and still became the president. You can't even do that and have McDonald's look into your past and still get a job at McDonald's. You know what I mean? You'll never be what your oppressor is in this hell in their kingdom. You know what I mean? You'll never be what they are, but they still target you and they still want to hurt you even more. Even though you already tired, you already fearing, you already afraid. You know what I mean? They still attack you and target you and want to destroy you even further, man. Go ahead, go ahead and read what you got, man.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 3. And God blessed the 7th day.
Salakia, chapter 3 and verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of any tree of the garden. Verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. Verse 3. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
So these are the instructions, and then as you can see, as you just read, you know what I mean, Eve understood these instructions very clearly. Where the serpent, you know what I mean, which was a man in the garden, you know what I mean, a man who is deceptive, which is the same slang that we use today. Salakia. But it's that serpent who is just a deceptive man, which is the same slang that we use today. He went up to Eve and was like, "What the Most High talking about? You say you can't eat of this tree in the midst of the garden. What are you talking about?" And Eve regurgitated what her husband had taught her. She was like, God has said, "Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die." You know what I mean? So they had already been given an option. Choose. They had already been given blessings and curses, life and death, and then was told to choose life, like we just read in Deuteronomy the 30th chapter. Go ahead, read on. But this is what catches us up all the time, man. And this is how we get in a perpetual state of captivity and destruction. All right, go ahead.
Verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die.
So what did the serpent say? What did that deceptive man say?
And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die.
So he told you everything. He said the total opposite of what the Most High said. The Most High said, don't do this, don't learn this, don't get high, don't be an alcoholic, don't be a promiscuous woman. You know what I mean? And don't make a promiscuous woman out of your wife. You know what I mean? You sleep with a woman, that's your woman. You know what I mean? No matter how many women you sleep with this woman, then you sleep with that woman, both of them are your women, and you have to keep them both. And you're responsible for whatever problems that she got. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 5. For God do it know in the day ye eat thereof, Then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
See, we wasn't supposed to know good and evil. We wasn't supposed to know what it's like. We were just supposed to know the good. Like, you know what I mean? We were supposed to, let me see if I could give an example. Like, say your father owns a Fortune 500 company. You know what I mean? You wealthy. You wealthy and you know what I mean? You got generational wealth. You got a passive income where you don't have to work a day in your life. You just go in, pop in every now and then, check on things, make some moves. Uh, but you know what I mean? You got this generational wealth. You got this passive income. You know what I mean? That's that's keeping you and your family straight. And then you pass that down, or your father passed it down to you. You pass it down to your children, and so on and so forth. Nobody in that family was is ever gonna know what it's like to be poor, because you just got, you know what I mean. You got a system that's basically printing money. That's what the Most High set up for us, man. Where He set up this system where if we just follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, if we just follow this rule book, if we just learned our history and understood our history and passed down these traditions and never deviated from them, then we would never know what it's like to be destroyed. But what do? You know what I mean? We let somebody say, oh, he said run it like this. You know, we like, yeah. You know what I mean? He been doing this for generations. His grandfather did it like this. His great grandfather did it like this. And this is how this business been running. That's how we got this generational wealth. This is how we got this passive income. We all good. You know what I mean? We ain't never had to struggle or want for nothing. You know what I mean? We been straight. What you talking about? You let somebody come up in your business and be like, nah, don't do it like that. Do it like this. He really wants you to do it like this because he don't want you to you know what I mean? He want to try to keep you down. That's what this evil man told Eve. You know what I mean? And what did she do? She went and took that information to Adam. And now, you know what I mean, fast forward, you know what I mean, fast forward, now we done separated so far from our culture that you know what I mean, we damn near don't even we damn near don't even know, you know what I mean? We don't even know who the hell we are. You know what I mean? So we just separated so far from our culture that now, you know what I mean, somebody tell you that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true chosen people of the Most High God, and we show you the curses that pertain to only us. We show you the history. We show you how Christ is a black man. We show you how the prophets are black men. We show you that the slang in the Bible is how black people talk, and we reject it. That's how far gone, you know what I mean, we are as a people where you know what I mean, we say follow this. You know what I mean? Ask for the old paths, which is the good way. Ask for the old paths that's in his Bible. And we say we will not walk therein. Even though we tired, even though we destroyed, we say this is the answer to get rest for your souls. We say we not gonna walk therein. Go ahead and drop down the go ahead, drop down to verse 16.
Kanawakan, the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy compensation.
Conception.
Salaki, conception.
All right, so this is talking about childbirth, like the pain that women feel when they going through, like, first thing, you know what I mean, you find out, a woman find out that she pregnant because she wake up throwing up. You know, she wake up throwing up. That's the first thing. You know what I mean, the morning sickness, and then the her body changing. You know what I mean, the body changing, and you know what I mean, the pain of carrying a child, going back and forth to the doctor every morning for 9 months. You throwing up. You can't keep no food down. You know what I mean, uncomfortable. It's just an uncomfortable process. I know I got to tell my sisters that. Go ahead, read on.
In the sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and the desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Now, real quick. So in Genesis chapter 3, or I believe chapter 2 and verse, when the Most High first gave these instructions, in verse 2, chapter 2 and verse 16 or 17, he said, for in that day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. Now, if you ask a Christian, let me ask you like this, Akbar. What happened? Did they die?
La,
What did happen though?
they became aware of good and evil.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Based on
They
go ahead.
like they picked up other people's customs and started to disobey God's.
Let me think.
They became sinners.
Okay, and then what happened when we become sinners as a result? Like what's what happens after we become sinners?
The wages of sin is death.
That's what happened. Like when we follow after these other nations, when we deviate from our culture, when we start to die. What's death? And the like when Christians read this part, they read death and you like, oh, you gonna bite this apple. You know what I mean? Because that's what they teach in the church. They say, oh, Adam and Eve bit an apple. And when in Genesis 2:16 or 2:17, when the Most High said, you shall surely die, they think, oh, if you eat this apple off this tree, you're gonna bite it and you're gonna kill over right there. You know what I mean? But the Most High is spiritual. These things are spirit. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is spiritual. You know what I mean? So when he's saying you shall surely die, it's not talking about you're gonna eat this fruit because you're not gonna eat he's not saying you're gonna eat this apple off this tree and then bite it and then die. He's saying exactly how black people talk. You know what I mean? When you go to that job and you got to work under that oppressor for change, you know what I mean? You got to go to that job and work 40, 80 hours. You got to work 80-hour shifts. You got to work 2 or 3 jobs. You know what I mean? That's hell. That's death right there. You know what I mean? That's no way to live. You know what I mean? Where our sisters, you know what I mean? You got to you get pregnant, right? And you got to weigh the options of, you know what I mean, following after your career or, you know what I mean? Or you got to weigh the option of getting rid of the baby because of how poor you are. That's hell right there. Having to make that decision is hell. Or even crossing your mind, that even popping up as an option, that's hell. You know what I mean? That's death. That's death. And that's the death and the knowledge of good and evil that the Most High was trying to protect us from. You know what I mean? So what happened was, I mean, we didn't physically die. We didn't, you know what I mean? We didn't, Adam and Eve didn't kill over right then and there. But what did happen was we're not gonna go through the whole we're not gonna go through the whole thing. But in Genesis, you know what I mean, you read the next chapter, you know what I mean, and it shows that Cain took the life of Abel. And if you're a mother, you know what I mean, especially if you're a mother or a father who's lost anybody, let alone children, you know what I mean, Lord forbid. But if you're a mother or father that knows what it's like to lose a child, as a matter of fact, we're going to get into a story. Did I send you that article?
I'm going to
play this video real quick. But if you're a mother or father that knows what it's like to lose children, to lose a child, you know what I mean, then you know that's hell. That's death right there. You know what I mean? A piece of you dies. Ain't that what we say? When you lose somebody close to you, a piece of you died, man. That's how. Now you didn't literally die, but when you say a piece of you died, you mean that you're like this is something that's so unbearable. It's something so painful, man. It's like you going through hell, man. Let me see if there's another story. So like, let me see what this is talking about. Video. Go ahead and read that. This is the hell and death that we was talking about in Deuteronomy 30th chapter, and this is the hell and death that we experience today. I mean, this is the hell and death that we was talking about in Genesis chapter 2 and chapter 3, when the Most High said, the day that you eat from these other people, the day that you digest what your oppressor tries to put in your mind, or these other nations, the day that you digest their culture and their ways of doing things, and you put down your culture, then you're going to experience death. You're going to, in that day, you will surely die. This is the death that we was talking about. Go ahead and read that real quick. Let me see if I can find this other one.
Colonel Khan on August 13, 2024. Nicole M. Johnson, 36-year-old, pled guilty in Baltimore County Circuit Court to 2 counts of first-degree murder, child abuse, involving the death of a victim younger than 13. Online court records show. On Monday, February 10th, Judge Nancy Purra sentenced her life to prison, suspending all but 50 years, Fox News reports.
So,
as people previously reported.
Hold up, I just like slack you. So this is a story about a sister, right? So the sister who was taking care of her sister's children. So this is an aunt dealing with her 2 children. You know what I mean? And it's you read through the story, it's another story. It get a little deeper, but so lucky. I'm multitasking. But you know what I mean, this sister, basically, long story short, this sister got pulled over and by the Baltimore police, right? And they was about to tow her car. They was about to impound her car because I think her license was, or like her what's it called? Her tags was out, her registration was out. I don't know if she had insurance, but her paperwork was not together for this vehicle. I think it was a fake tag on the back of the car. So you know what I mean. In certain states, certain cities, you know what I mean. When the police pull you over, you ain't got everything. You ain't got your paperwork together to be able to operate a vehicle. They gotta impound your vehicle. So that's what they doing. So they like, all right, unfortunately we gotta, you know what I mean, impound this vehicle. You know what I mean. But we will let you get your things out the vehicle, so that, you know what I mean, so that you can go get you a ride and be on your way, and then you'll sort this out later. They open the trunk, or the woman, the aunt, opened the trunk, and the police officer's like, "What the hell is that smell? Like, it's just a rancid smell coming from this vehicle, right?" She like, "Oh, it's just some dirty clothes. They've been in there for months and months and months and months." Police officer like, "Nah, that ain't dirty clothes." Long story short, this sister got her her niece and her nephew. One was 5 and one was 7. He got her niece and her nephew wrapped up in the trunk, and like I think it's like in a tote, or like a bin or something, or wrapped up in the trunk, and they've been in there stinking and rotten for months. So, I just sent or actually I ain't sent it yet, but I'm about to send this video, or this link real quick to lock you. But you know what I mean, you see the video, and they find out what's in that trunk, and they start freaking out. The police, they like, you know what I mean, as you can imagine, they see 2 dead bodies just rotting and stinking, and they start stealing, like, "Put your hands in the air, don't." And this lady start taking off running. You know what I mean? She then took the lives of these 2 young babies, and you know what I mean, got them in the trunk stinking and destroyed, man. This is death right here. This is, and I'm not even talking about the physical death, but I'm gonna show you. Baba Kasha, if you could just play that video, and y'all gonna see what death is. You know what I mean? And the fact that these 2 children lost their lives, you know what I mean, that's a tragedy. That's so tragic, and that's tragic that they had to go through hell, because I believe, you know what I mean, in this story, Aitazab Gabar, as a matter of fact, go ahead, finish reading what you got, right? And read nice and clear so that they can hear the story online.
Khan, they stopped Johnson because the car was unregistered.
Right? That's what I just explained. Go ahead.
Unassured, and had a fake temporary West Virginia tag, police said. W. Moore's News reported. 2 bodies of 2 young children discovered in the auntie's trunk after cops pulled over suspicious vehicle. Officers were arranging to have the car towed, and told her to take her things, and told her to take anything she needed out of the car. When one of them noticed a strange odor, police said. That's when Johnson pulled a maggot-filled plastic tape and a garbage bag out of the trunk, police said.
Right.
When they opened the bag, they found the remains of Johnson's niece, 7-year-old Jocelyn Johnson. Inside, they found the body of a 5-year-old Larry O'Neill III, her nephew, inside the tote.
Right.
The siblings' mother had left them in Johnson's care in 2019.
Right. So the mother left the children in you know what I mean, in her sister's care. She said that it was just like she was just trying to get help. You know what I mean? She was trying to get help from a family member, and you know what I mean, which is, you know what I mean, a lot of black people do that today. You know what I mean, where a brother or sister trying to get on their feet, so they'll send their kids to go stay with they relatives. You know what I mean, they auntie, they uncles, they grandparents, or something like that, until they get on their feet, and then, you know what I mean, they get their kids back. No sweat. All right. Lo and behold, you know what I mean? Lo and behold, they kids is in the trunk of a car, just stinking and rotting for months. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Now, as a matter of fact, if you could, uh, let me see. Let me get to this article with you, so I can follow along. Salakia, bear with me 1 second. Oh, skip down to you reading the highlighted portion? Okay. What was the last? Go ahead, skip down to the part where it talks about they weight.
Jocelyn weighed 18 pounds when she died.
When she died. Now we talking about I think Jocelyn was 7 years old. Now my oldest daughter is 5. She's 50 pounds right now. And my children are very, like, they light. You know what I mean? My youngest is 3, and she's 40 pounds. She a little solid little joker. You know what I mean? She about, yeah, she, you know what I mean, what they say, knee high to a grasshopper. But we talking about a 5 and a 7-year old. 18, go ahead, read on.
Larry weighed only 21 pounds.
Only 21 pounds. So the 5-year-old weighed 21 pounds. Yeah, I think Larry was the younger one. The baby. So the younger one was 21 pounds. The 7-year-old was 18 pounds. So that show you that these children, we gonna get this video, but it talks about how they was malnourished. They was malnourished. They was being cause we gonna hear the grandmother talking. Baba Kashaf, if you don't mind just playing that video. But you know what I mean? What's it like? I'm gonna let the video do the talking.
That horrific tragedy out Baltimore County. The bodies of 2 young children discovered in the trunk of their aunt's car during a traffic stop in Essex last week. The aunt is charged with child abuse in their deaths. There was an outpouring of support tonight near the scene of that gruesome discovery. Dozens came out for a prayer vigil in honor of 7-year-old Jocelyn Johnson and 5-year-old Larry O'Neill. State Delegate Rick Metzger organized this event.
I believe it was ordained of God for that police officer to pull that car over, to stop, to see, because we're 50 yards from the water. And if you check the water records, high tide, they could have put those children in that riverbank and nobody would have ever found them.
Meanwhile, the children's grandmother is speaking.
That's the grandmother right there. That's the grandmother right there. But you know what I mean, the police officer saying, you know what I mean, this is the Most High, this is the Lord, you know what I mean, that stopped that, you know what I mean, that had that police officer stop that woman, you know what I mean, with them babies in that trunk just rotting and decaying like that. Because, you know what I mean, what in their mind, they're thinking, you know what I mean, if you know what I mean, usually if somebody who takes a life and they trying to discard the evidence, They, you know what I mean? Well, that would be the logical thing for somebody who takes life to do, to discard the body, to discard the evidence. This woman had these children in the trunk for months. What you about to say?
The report says for a year.
A year, kinda. I believe they said the oldest one, the little girl was you know what I mean, gone for, she was unalive for a year, and the younger one it was a couple months, but she not only after because first she was abusing the children, they was malnourished, and the grandmother gonna say it, like last time she saw them, they looked malnourished. You know what I mean? They looked like they wasn't being treated right. So this was you know what I mean, time going by of them being mistreated and abused. And then, you know what I mean, before they actually lost their life, the oldest one, the 7-year-old, was 18 pounds. You know what I mean? You think about them African videos with what's her name? You know what I mean? The arms of the angel and all of that. You know what I mean? You see them African videos, how skinny they are with them swollen bellies. You know what I mean? That's the condition that these kids had to be in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's hell. You know what I mean? That's death. That's the death that the Most High was talking about in Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter. He said, choose life. You know what I mean? This is the death that he was talking about when he gave Adam and Eve them instructions. Where he gave Adam them instructions to not deal with these other nations, not follow after their customs, lest you surely die. You know what I mean? This is the death that he was talking about, where now you got to live in a condition where a mother can't even trust her sister to watch her children, to take care of her children, you know what I mean, in her time of need, without knowing that her children are going to be viciously mistreated. You know what I mean? And then have their lives taken, and then they're, you know what I mean, be driven around God knows where, you know what I mean, in the trunk for months, almost a year. Slacky. Go ahead and play the rest of that video, Baba Kasha.
Out tonight, blaming the tragic deaths on two of her own daughters. Keith Daniels sat down with the grandmother tonight in a story you're seeing first on Fox. Keith.
Well, Kyle, according to court documents, the children's mother left them in the care of her sister, and tonight, the mother, middle of a tragic mother of the two children,
Talk about it.
caught in the midst, the grandmother of the two children, caught in the middle of a tragic story.
They took precious lives.
You see her.
And Ms. Johnson is the.
Run it back real quick. You see her face, man. You hear her voice. You hear how devastated she is to talk about what happened to her grandchildren, and the fact that this thing happened to her grandchildren, that they had undergone all of this abuse prior to them even losing their life, and then losing their life to somebody who she trusted. You know what I mean? That's her daughters, because she's gonna go into it a little bit more. Her daughter, or one of her daughters, took the lives of her grandchildren. That's death. That's hell. You see that agony on her face? That's the hell and death that the Most High was talking about. You know what I mean? I'm gonna show you why this happened. Go ahead, play that, Baba Kashan.
And Ms. Johnson is the mother of Nicole Johnson, the woman accused and charged in connection with the children's deaths.
I love her, but I want her paid with every soul in my bone. They can put her to sleep as far as I'm concerned. They can put them both to sleep.
The other woman Ms. Johnson is referring to is the children's mother, Ms. Johnson's other daughter. On this night, we're hearing something from a mother that may seem unthinkable. She's calling for the ultimate penalty to be given to her daughters for the deaths of her grandchildren.
That's what I want. I want both daughters to be equally charged because both are guilty.
Baltimore County Police found the children's body in the trunk of
that. And when you read in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, where the Most High says, If you eat of these, if you eat of the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden, you will surely die. This is what the Most High is talking about. This is death. The pain of having your children have their lives taken from them so gruesomely by somebody that you love. And you see that in the next chapter, Genesis, the fourth chapter. You know what I mean? It talks about, like we said before, it said, if you eat it, you'll surely die. In that day, right? Did Adam and Eve die in that day? La, they did not die in that day. But what happened in the very next chapter is they had to experience the pain, just like that sister right there, that grandmother. They had to experience that same pain of knowing that your son took the life of your other son, man. So you lost one son by the hands of your flesh and blood, your family who you loved and trusted, man. And then your other son had to, you know what I mean, became a fugitive in the earth. They experienced that exact same pain. That's the hell and death that the Most High is trying to keep us away from, man. That hell and death of not knowing who your father is, not knowing who your mother is. And if you do know who your mother and father is, them abusing you. That's that hell and death. I'm going to send you another one, too. Salakia. All right, just sent it to you. But what does it sound like? Like if you was reading this story and you didn't see the video and you didn't hear, like you didn't, this sound like some Ted Bundy, what's that Joker name that be eating people? Jeffrey Dahmer. You know what I mean? It sounds like some Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer type stuff. You know what I mean? But who is it? It's us. You know what I mean? Doing this to one another, man. Guess where we learned it from, though? We're going to find out where we learned it from. Let's go ahead and play that other video I just sent you.
Abuse case.
It made me feel disgusted.
Shocking new details in the Bibb County sex abuse case.
It made me feel disgusted.
So this is just
The Bibb County
just
Sheriff's
give a
Office released.
Salakia, backdrop, Salakia. This is you know what I mean? Just I believe last week, a bunker was discovered in Alabama. In Alabama, where there was, I believe it was about 15 young children and animals included that was being sold in a trafficking ring. You know what I mean? They was being abused daily. You know what I mean? And that's hell in itself. You know what I mean? Imagine it's already hell being abused, you know what I mean, in that way. But now you got, you know what I mean, these children having good night. I don't even want to describe it, but they dealing with animals as well. So you could just imagine how disgusting, like it's disgusting on top of disgusting. Slacky, you go ahead and play that now.
A picture on Wednesday. It's the first look inside the bunker where at least 10 children were sexually abused.
Sometimes the children would be there, tied to a pole that was there, bound to a bed that was there, or in a chair that was there. Sometimes there would be multiple people that would come by and victimize these children on a nightly basis.
Sheriff Jody Wade says the abuse started as early as 2022.
I would probably have to have therapy myself, or I might be wearing orange in Bibb County Jail.
That's where these 7 suspects are now, facing a range of charges from rape, sodomy, and bestiality to human trafficking and kidnapping.
I wish they would let them out and let Bibb County citizens take care of them.
This woman said she didn't want to show her face or give us her name out of fear. Wade says this operation could be gang-related, and the ringleader, Andreas Trejo, may be the link.
I know a couple of the boys, and it surprises me. I can't believe that it was like just not far from where my sister lives, actually.
If I could.
And she has kids.
I think we get the gist, right? Do you know why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans do things like what you saw in that last video, where that sister had taken the lives of her niece and nephew and had them in the trunk riding around stinking? Is because the reason why we be so comfortable as a people by doing these heinous things is because we see our oppressor do these things and get away with it. The reason why we go and catch felonies is because we see Donald Trump become a 34 count felony and then also win the presidential election. We see we see Jeffrey Dahmer chopping up bodies and eating them and getting away with it. You know what I mean? No matter what, no matter how many times the police is called and you know what I mean, suspicions are raised up, they don't even investigate this Edomite. You just get away with it and get away with it and get away with it. So that's what even gives black people the courage and the audacity to even do these types of things, to follow after our oppressor, man. Because we see our oppressor do these things and get away with it. We sell drugs because we see our oppressor sell drugs and get away with it. Not only just get away with it, we see them get praised. You know what I mean? We see them get praised, get documentaries and stories and written about it. We see you know what I mean, mass shooters, you know what I mean, in grocery stores and in churches, you know what I mean, in black grocery stores and black churches. You know what I mean? We see them go and unalive people, you know what I mean, in churches and grocery stores and in schools and get taken in cuffs quietly, alive. You know what I mean? They get taken to McDonald's or Burger King, you know what I mean, and fed and treated with some dignity and respect, even as they're being the most disgusting human being on the face of this earth. We see our oppressor do those things and they get away with it. And they get praised for it. And they become rich off of these heinous things. So in our poverty, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that's what gives us the courage and the audacity to even try and be a drug dealer, to try and be, you know what I mean, an unaliver, to try to be a gangbanger, to try and, you know what I mean, take our stress out on, you know what I mean, one another. Because we see our oppressor, you know what I mean, take each other's lives, you know what I mean, have their children in sex trafficking rings and things like that. We see our oppressor abuse their children and be cruel to their children and be cruel to one another. You know what I mean, chopping up their husbands and their wives and having them under the floorboards. We see our oppressor do all of those things. We see him get away with it, man, and get rich off of it. But we do these things, we get destroyed because we are the only people who have a true living most high power to govern over us, that gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. Let me get Deuteronomy chapter 4 real quick. Chapter 4 and verse 6. Oh, go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 6. Therefore, endue them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding.
Oh, Slacky, go up to verse 5 real quick.
Khan. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me.
So the Most High put Moses in charge, and he said that he would be unto the people instead of a God. So the Most High would deal with Moses, and Moses gave orders from there in the name of the Most High God, man. The Most High gave us laws, statutes, and commandments to put us above all nations on the face of the earth, man. Go ahead, read on.
That ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Just like the Most High created Adam and put him in the garden and gave us these instructions that we pass down, these oral traditions to our children and our children's children, so that we can stay in the garden, so that we can stay in the Lord's protection. That's the exact same thing that the Most High did with Moses in the wilderness. So that when we go into this land that the Most High is going to give us, that we may, you know what I mean, that we gonna keep these traditions there. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding.
Nah, drug dealing is your wisdom.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding.
This is your wisdom. You following these laws, statutes, and commandments. They ain't got nothing. You ain't gotta be a drug dealer to be on top. You know what I mean? Like these TV shows like to teach you. You know what I mean? Like history tried to teach you. You know what I mean? Like these rappers try to teach you. You ain't gotta be a drug dealer. You ain't gotta be a gangbanger to make it out of hell, to make it out of this hellish condition. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta go join the oppressor's military like your oppressor would try to have you do. You ain't gotta try to join the police force and change the police from within. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta try to join your oppressor's political system and try to change the system from within. This is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the other nations. Go ahead, read on.
And your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all of these statutes.
No, we'll hear all these rap songs.
which shall hear all these statutes,
Nah, hear all these R&B songs.
which shall hear all these statutes,
Nah, hear about how you a real estate mogul.
which shall hear all these statutes,
Nah, they shall hear all these podcasts.
shall hear all these statutes,
These laws, statutes, and commandments is what's going to put you above all nations upon the face of the earth. Go ahead.
and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Your oppressor is supposed to look at you as a wise and understanding people. They're supposed to look at you and be like, "Who?" Go ahead, read on.
Verse 7, for what nation is there so great, who have God so nigh unto them?
So what? These other nations are supposed to look at you and be like, "Dang, these people are so great. What nation is this that's so great? You know what I mean? That will have such a most high power so close to them. You know what I mean? They supposed to look at us and be like, yeah, the Lord is with them. They supposed to know for a fact. They supposed to look at us and be like, yeah, the Lord is with them, man. Who are these people that's so great that the Most High is with them, man, to make them great? Go ahead.
As the Lord our God is in all things that we can call upon him for. Verse 9, only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently. Salakia.
Go ahead.
And keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget these things which thine eyes have seen, and least they depart from thy heart all of the days of thy life.
The Most High is telling you the worst thing that you can do as a Black, Hispanic, and Native American man is to deviate from your culture. You know what I mean? We put so much weight on these frivolous things. We try to put so much value and so much gravity on these frivolous things where it's like, oh, you got to be a high value man and make 6 figures and be 6 foot and have a 6-pack and all of these frivolous things, man. We look at our women, it's like, oh, our women ain't nothing unless they got a gigantic butt, gigantic breast, and lip injections. You know what I mean? We put so much gravity into these frivolous things. But read that from the top again.
Khan, only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all of the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons.
See, this is what we supposed to pass down, man. The worst thing that can happen to a Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, not that you lose your job in this hell, not that you know what I mean, not that your oppressor doesn't accept you, not that you're not able to go to your oppressor's schools, you know what I mean, not that they get rid of DEI, you know what I mean, not that we don't have a Black president, you know what I mean, that we don't vote Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or Obama into office. The worst thing that can happen to a Black, Hispanics, and Native American is if you deviate from your culture and the Most High is not with you no more. Go ahead to Judges real quick. Judges 3.
Khan.
Question more time, Craig. Is it, just a general scripture? All right. All right, we're gonna hold that. Well, actually, it's 10 minutes left. Let's go ahead to that Galatians real quick. Galatians 5. You got the item take a bar?
Khan.
Go ahead and read that when you got it.
The book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 21. Envying, murderers, drunkenness, revealing, and such like, of which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that thy which do such things not inherited the kingdom of God.
See, this is right on topic. You know what I mean? Where you can't do, there's certain things that you can and can't do. There's certain things that you can't do and also inherit the kingdom of God. I mean, kingdom of God is you know what I mean, a place and time in earth where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are no longer in hell under this oppressor. You're no longer poor. You're no longer, you know what I mean, destroyed and all of that. And you are able to rule over the earth righteously. You know what I mean? But when the Most High sends Christ and 200 million angels to redeem blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans out of this hell, he's not coming to redeem these type of people. Go up to verse 19. The book of Galatians is talking about, if I'm not mistaken, it's talking about the difference between being carnal and spiritual, right? It's teaching. Paul is teaching the Galatians, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who were scattered in that region, spirituality, like how to be spiritual, how to walk in the spirit, how to not be carnal. You know what I mean? And that's what gets us to deviate from our culture in the first place. Where we get carnal. You know what I mean? Like what we read in Genesis, the 2nd chapter with Adam and Eve. You know what I mean? It was carnal. The Most High gave them. Most High gave them instructions on how to, you know what I mean, how to, you know what I mean, stay in rulership, how to, you know what I mean. He gave them the spirit, you know what I mean. He gave them his spirit. He gave them the spirit of the Lord. He was supposed to pass that wisdom down to his children and his children, so on and so forth. But the allure of being like these, or trying these other ways, trying what these other nations got to offer, their way of doing things, trying the thing that the Most High told us to never eat. We had to try that pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. We had to try those drugs. You know what I mean, we got carnal and got curious on what happened, what would really happen if we did the opposite of what the Most High told us to do. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifested, which are these: adultery, fornication.
We know what adultery is, right?
Kind.
Adultery is, you know what I mean, when you sleep with another man's wife. You know what I mean, that's, you've committed adultery with that man's wife. And for you sisters, if you sleep with anybody that's not your husband, you have committed adultery. That's adultery. Go ahead.
Fornication.
Fornication is unlawful sex. You know what I mean? So you like what we just read in this article about them trafficking rings. Can I say that? Trafficking? Okay, Most High Christ. Them trafficking rings with them they said at least 10 children, which is unlawful sex. And animals, bestiality, unlawful sex. You know what I mean? LGBTQ activity, unlawful sex. That's fornication. Go ahead.
Uncleanness.
All right, so uncleanness, so touching anything unclean. We know the laws on uncleanness. You know what I mean? Touching anything that's unclean, touching an animal that died of itself. You know what I mean? Coming into the amongst the, you know what I mean? Coming amongst the school while sisters on their flower. You know what I mean? Doing things that are just unclean, unseemly to our culture. You know what I mean? That the Most High taught us against. Go ahead.
And lasciviousness.
Lasciviousness. What's the definition of lasciviousness? It's like, well, let's go ahead and just get it. You go ahead and read it when you got it, Baba Shah. Or
kind of says lasciviousness, filled with or showing sexual desire, lewd, lustful, lascivious acts or thoughts.
I believe lasciviousness more so encompasses like just a desire to do like just evil in general, just something that's like disgusting and profane. Like, I believe just in a nutshell, you know what I mean? Which is, you know what I mean? That's, you know what I mean? Which is what we've been reading about. Like, you want to see lascivious. You know what I mean? Them 2 videos that we just watched was disgusting, terrifying, you know what I mean? But this is, you know what I mean? This is real. This is real. This is the real condition that we live in. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Aitazah. Or you had another, did you want to read that or you?
Kind of just more to your point, unrestrained sexual behavior or habitual inclination to such behavior, lustfulness.
Okay. Go ahead. I desire
Idolatry.
idolatry. You know what I
Idolatry.
mean? So that anything that you put before the Most High is idolatry. You know what I mean? So that superstition, you know what I mean, where we won't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, but every New Year, you know what I mean, you make sure you got them black eyed peas and collard greens. You know what I mean? That's idol worship. You know what I mean? We won't follow these law, statutes, and commandments. We don't, because we don't believe that that's what's gonna get us out of this hell. But we will sell drugs. That's idol worship. You know what I mean? That anything that you put in president or you give credit to instead of the Most High, you know what I mean? Them horoscopes and them damn zodiac signs, them crystals, them tarot cards and all of that. That's idol worship. Go ahead.
Witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
Hatred. Variance.
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 Variance. I can't remember what that one is. Variance. I think it mean like basically like fighting fighting with one another. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And that's we got laws against we got laws on how to deal with conflict as well. You know what I mean? You got to art with your brother. You know what I mean? You take it to that brother between he and thee alone. He don't hear you. You know what I mean? If the Lord willing, you know what I mean, y'all can we could squash it right then and there. You could gain your brother because that's the whole point. But if you know what I mean, in some cases you just not going to agree off of words. So you take it to counsel. You know what I mean? But we don't have that. We're not, you know what I mean? Because a lot of brothers and sisters not trying to come in the ISUPK. You know what I mean? Where we got counselors, we got brothers, we got wise men in here who can solve your problems. You know what I mean? And get you right, settle disputes. You know what I mean? But instead, what do? That's how you got what we just saw. Where you know what I mean? You got a sister who, you know what I mean? She's on hard times, so she trusts her sister to watch her children. And if you go into the second article that I sent, you know what I mean, the mother wants the two daughters to be punished equally because she knew that that one daughter that took the life of them two babies wasn't all the way right in the head. And that sister, she's claiming that sister knew as well, but put them in that care anyway. You know what I mean? Because we don't have the council, we don't have the brotherhood, we don't have the family, the camaraderie that we got in the ISUBK that we learned from this Bible. We resort to, you know what I mean? I step on your shoe. Instead of you pulling me aside, you go to the trunk or you just still off on my jaw. So now, you know what I mean? One thing lead to another, and now the whole club getting shot up. You know what I mean? Kids catching strays, you know what I mean? That's what we resorted to because we don't have our culture. Let's go down to her verse, 21.
Verse 21. Envyings, murderers, drunkenness,
right,
revealings, so like and such as like.
Right. So I believe reveling is the same thing. It's like you know what I mean, reveling. But I believe it's this referring to the same thing. You know what I mean? To what's that say? But go ahead while you're getting that definition. Well, all of these things that's being named in this in Galatians the 5th chapter. Go ahead.
Of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past.
He did what?
As I have also told you in Salakia, of which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past.
That's that Deuteronomy 30 again. He told you in times past. I mean, we've been being told. We got told in the garden. We got told in Deuteronomy. We got told in the book of Judges. We got told, you know what I mean, over and over through our various captivities. Go ahead.
That they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
See, when the Most High comes with them 200 million, or when Christ comes with those 200 million angels, we're gonna set up a kingdom that's not gonna be left to any other nation of people. But he's not coming for a nation of drug addicts, drug dealers. He's not coming for a nation of Cardi B's and sexy reds popping it on a handstand. He's not coming for no alcoholics. He's not coming for no abusers. He's not coming for the type of people that we've become by following after our oppressor.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's Lord willing, that answered your question. All right, with that, well, we over the time anyway, but with that, you know what I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know what I mean, like, share, subscribe to the channel, you know what I mean, share it with your loved ones, share it with your you know what I mean, with your family and friends and all of that. And morning, noon, and night, if you hit that QR code in that top corner, you know what I mean, it'll be a brother in that WhatsApp chat to answer all your questions and solve all your problems. With that, we're gonna pass the class over to Trooper Aita Zagabar for the security announcement. Go ahead, give him a hand.
ISUPK security announcements. Salaki, we are the ISUPK, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. If they are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to marry. There's another 6 months, Salakia. There's another 6 months which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is the commandment. Book of Numbers, chapter 18. Book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, masharah. 10% of every penny of the 10% of every increase the Lord gives you. Give the Treasury Department our teacher, priest fund, free will, offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like, upcoming holy convocations. The memorial blowing of the trumpets, first day of the 7th month, Sunday, September 21st, 2025, Book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. Reminder, Akim and Agwaf to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. This concludes the ISUPK security announcements.
What you think, IBR? You want to go through these verses real quick? I don't want to keep y'all, brothers. I know y'all look tired. You good to go? All right, most of Christ, you good to go? Or you ready? You got Salaki. The sister had a couple more verses. All right, let's go ahead. So where we leave off, Galatians. Salaki says, I ain't realized there was more verses. So we read verse 21, right? So you go at verse 22, and this should be real straightforward and to the point. You know what I mean? But
Book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love,
right?
Joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith.
Right. So the fruit of the Spirit is all of these different things. And who had the you know what I mean, Christ's perfect example, you know what I mean, where he had the Spirit of the Lord. You know what I mean? You look at these brothers and these prophets, you know what I mean, these priests in the Bible, you know what I mean, these brothers had the Spirit of the Lord, man. And you know that they had the Spirit of the Lord because they kept these law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I mean? You look at Noah, you look at Job, you know what I mean, in the midst, you look at Abraham, all of these brothers that I just mentioned, you know what I mean, in the midst of where evil was popular, much like America, you know what I mean, in the midst of where you got sisters, you know what I mean, taking the lives of their family members and throwing them in the trunk, you know what I mean, riding around, where you in the midst of where they're not only legalizing LGBTQ activity, but they're pushing it. You know what I mean? Where they're going to schools and teaching your sons and daughters and grooming them at school to be LGBTQ members. You know what I mean? Where OnlyFans is, you know what I mean, what they say, a sister should never be broke because she got, you know what I mean, some tail to sell. You know what I mean? In a place where all of these terrible things and evil things are popular, these brothers, you know what I mean, they kept the laws of the Most High God, and they were perfect. Go ahead.
Verse 23, meekness, temperance, against such there is no law.
You see how he's talking about the law? I mean, if you want the spirit of the Lord, you have to keep the law, man. Against all these different things, loving one another, being kind to one another, being patient with one another, there's no law against that. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 24, and they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affections and lust.
So Christ died. Whole point of Christ going up on that cross is so that you can kill that old man, so that you can have an opportunity to no longer be carnal. You can be spiritual. You can walk in the spirit that the Most High gave us in these laws, statutes, and commandments that Christ taught. You know what I mean? As he taught these things, and he also did it. You know what I mean? Well, he was merciful. He was patient. You know what I mean? That woman that was caught in the act of adultery. You know what I mean? He didn't say, when they said, what should we do with him? The law said stone him, but what you say? He didn't say don't stone him. Why? Because that was they wanted that opportunity to be like, oh, see, he going against the law of Moses. Now they would have biblical authority to stone Christ. But he didn't say that. He didn't say don't stone her. But he also didn't. He said he without sin cast the first stone. And then when they was conflicted, and because they knew that they was sinning, and they left, he also didn't choose, because he was the only one that had the authority to stone her. When he didn't choose to stone her, he just said, go and sin no more. You know what I mean? So he showed that mercy, but he also told her to go and sin no more. He told her to correct herself. He gave her an opportunity, you know what I mean, to change her life and no longer be carnal, to be spiritual. And that's what this is talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
If we live in the spirit, let us also walk in the spirit.
All right. So you got to walk it like you talk it. You know what I mean? So we was given this opportunity. We was given this grace to be able to fix our lives. Let's go ahead and walk in this thing. You know what I mean? Christ already lost his life. An innocent man, you know what I mean? He lost his life for something we did. The least we could do is walk in that spirit. Go ahead.
Verse 26, let us not be like desirous of vain glory,
right,
provoking one another, envying one another.
All right, so all of the things that we do outside of the spirit, you know what I mean, is vain glory. You know what I mean? You trying to be like you know what I mean, you trying to be like you know what I mean, these Italian gangsters, Italian mobsters, you know what I mean, these drug addicts, these unalivers, you know what I mean? That's vain glory. You know what I mean? You trying to be an OnlyFans model and make millions of dollars, you know what I mean? That's vain glory. You know what I mean? Do all these different things. But I pray that answered your question. You know what I mean? I was able to get through all of them. With that, go ahead say I madium. Give a courtesy salute to the brother. Individual Madium Shabbat. I madium. Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakah. Yahweh Matah. Storm. The third face system. Give a courtesy salute to the system. Individual Madium Shabbat. I madium. Barak. Yahweh Shem